What I do, what I do. My name is Jeremy, and today I want to talk about how doing the wrong things with your time can ruin your life. You know, what you need to realize is that the world, how it is today, right? For a lot of us, 9 out of 10 people, that's quite um full of a comfort zone, right? Especially if you're still living at home or something, or you're just young. Everything is uncom is for, at least for most people, a lot of it is comfort zone, right? But what you need to realize is that a lot of your today's world will eventually change, right? People get older. Some of your family members might not be here in how many years from now. And same with that, the chances that you have right now, you won't just have them always, any day, because things change. Especially if you're young, you're still living with your parents, then you need to make use of the time that you have right now. And this is not the time to be doing things that not aligned with yourself, right? For example, addictions can ruin your life, because I've seen that with my own weed addiction. Today I'm on day one of the journey of stopping, of quitting weed, right? I'm gonna keep y'all on track too. I'm gonna make more videos about that. But what I've seen with myself is, when you just spend your days in addiction, automatically you're isolating yourself from the world, and the days just go by, but you have nothing to show for it. You're just high, time goes by, but you don't do anything productive. So that's basically, if you just look at the truth of it, your days on earth are getting less, but your impact on the world is not growing. It's not like you're contributing more to earth. And that's a fucked up um balance to be in, because what I noticed is, with the brain, is something, it actually wants you to do good. So when you're wasting time, your mind will, your brain will kinda be fucked up. It will kinda let you know, like, bro, you're far from your purpose. The life you're living right now is far from the life that you probably should be living. And that's when you will see things such as low testosterone, low dopamine, all those hormones and all just those neurotransmitters that we need to actually feel, to live a good, happy life. We cannot access them because we are too far away from our best version. So everything in our body is also not the best version of us, and that's just the part of addiction. But like I've said, time goes by. That's something that I learned really this year and last year, is time really goes by, and if you don't make it better, it will never get better. And the fantasy, right, the idea that you have of how reality should be will never exist. I've struggled with that for a long time. I always wanted to start businesses and things like that, but the hard things, I always neglected them. I always was just like, okay, someday. But someday really does not exist. Someday does not exist. It's either today or never. And that's real, and that's also what I want you to realize, that time passes by and you really gotta make something out of yourself. Because I'm 21. It's 21 is not old, but it's no longer, you're no longer a child, right? But sometimes you really need to think about, like, just imagine, bro, like, I already feel how it is. I've wasted a lot of months last year just by smoking too much weed, just by staying in comfort zone, just by not speaking to people, just being far from who I could have been, right? I've wasted a lot of months in that sense. And even before that. And now I think about it like, damn, imagine if that just goes on. Imagine if it just eventually will turn 25, eventually I will turn 30 with nothing to show for it. I think nobody want to live that life. So now I'm going to tell you why and how you can basically snap out of this, snapping out of the thing of wasting time. And what I noticed is you really need to change your identity, because a lot of things that we don't do, we don't we don't do them because of shame or certain aspects of ourselves. For example, when I was just starting out um with this self-improvement journey, I always already was thinking about, okay, maybe I should do coaching, I should coach people or help people or this or that. But I couldn't put myself in that vulnerable state. I was too much having a feeling of, no, that's weak. Me helping somebody, that's too vulnerable. Now you actually need to, yeah, be vulnerable with people. And I always had a sense, that's that fake identity. I always carried that fake identity of me. Oh, I need to be tough. Oh, I need to be gangster. Oh, I need to be perceived as tough. Things like that. And if you don't snap out of those identities, then you will continue to waste time, and addiction will continue to ruin your life. Because that's also what I learned. It's only those things. We waste time while being addicted. I think nobody, it's always addictions. Masturbation, porn, weed, whatever, right? It's always addictions that ruin our life, and it's not the addictions that actually are the bad things. The bad things is that time passes by, and just because of us staying addicted, we don't do what we should be doing. So that's really it. You need to change your identity, whatever. And the rule of thumb for me, what I now realized is, I don't know anything. I actually don't know my prime. You don't know your prime. You don't know who you can be, because that person is too different from the person that you are right now, in a good sense. I've been struggling with discipline my whole life, that from times on I could not even envision myself being disciplined, or I could not even envision myself winning in situations. And that's why we also never change, because when you're in a certain situation, you don't know what your prime is. You don't know your best version of yourself, so you just block yourself off from that. You don't know how much empathy your best version can have. You don't know how disciplined your best version can be. You don't know what type of body your best version can accomplish. So you just block yourself off from that reality of achieving it and trying your best to get to it. And self-sabotage is something that you need to you need to navigate your way through, because when you're not going for your prime, you're basically self-sabotaging yourself. And you're too much stuck in who you think you are instead of becoming who you want to become. Because all of us grew up in certain situations. Basically, when you're born, there's already an idea of, okay, this is who Jiraiya-san will be, or this is who you will be. You grow up in a certain situation, Bob, you go through certain events, you grow up in a certain environment, meet certain people, and boom, it's already planned out for you. If I didn't fight against my basically my environment's programming, then I would be in jail right now, or something bad. But there must come a moment that you will be like, oh, I can change, and I'm gonna change. And that's how you make time your friend, because time is neutral. And I'm going back on the topic of time because that's basically what I started the video with, right? But time is neutral. It just passes by, and it's not good or bad. It's us that determine how we will perceive the time. If you grind, then you won't look at time like, oh, life goes so fast. But it is. But you do that when you don't grind. Then you'll be like, oh, life goes so fast, and people are just having more than me, and doing better than me. And that's not even really comparing yourself, but that's just being realistically and thinking like, if I didn't spend all those days high, I was probably at the same position as them. So changing identities really come with allowing yourself to be vulnerable. It comes with being quiet, right? Not just don't give yourself all the things that you always gave yourself. For example, music, masturbation, all the patterns that basically make up your current version, the version that is far from your prime and you're not that happy with it. That version it's just a result of getting bad results from life. So such, for example, maybe going through trauma, things like that. So that forms us, and then you continue to shape yourself with bad habits and addictions. Then by the time that you're 18, 19, 20 and things like that, you just continue to walk a path that is basically a path that was never designed for you. It was just a path that you got onto because of how life situations sometimes end up going. So like I've said, you need to know that for yourself, that that's not your best version. That's not who you can be. That's not who you should be. And by that, you should continue to work upon viewing yourself as the best version. Sometimes you see people. I used to have that. I used to have a lot of emotional reactions to people that were confident, because you see people and they just kept themselves in the highest regard. Though they don't think negative about themselves. And I was always like, you kind of envy it because you don't know it, right? You don't know, damn, this is possible. This is actually how you should treat yourself, right? People that just not break themselves down. That's a big factor of it, right? Don't break yourself down. And negative thoughts are things that you should go through. Everybody always talks about fighting demons. When you go on this journey, you will fight demons. But what you need to know is that, bro, demons are just your own thoughts. just negative ones. Sometimes you will have thoughts that you don't want to think about, but that's basically what will happen if a lot of your life you basically give it away. For example, weed changes your thinking pattern. So a lot of your thinking is actually not you, it's just the weed, or it's the masturbation causing you to have dirty thoughts, or it's the alcohol, right, that causes you to have weird thoughts. It's the, so a lot of it is also just about detoxing from bad thought, detoxing from bad habits. And that's when your identity will change, but you need to give yourself the time and the first option even to change, because and allow yourself to be vulnerable, right? Because if you have that picture in your mind of, oh no, I need to be this, I need to do this, that, then a lot of it won't work. A lot of you will then just maybe do it for a couple of days, and then boom, you will be back off track. You need to continue to basically give yourself love, because that's all where it eventually comes down to. If you don't have a negative self-image, why would you self-destruct yourself? You would not do that. If you don't have a negative self-image of yourself, then if you see a girl and you like her, you would just go up to her, because up here it's not negative. So it's all about that, changing the identity from that negative self-image to a positive one. And that's something, it won't come tomorrow. You need to continue to work upon it. Give yourself time and put yourself in situations that will allow you to learn and continue to be vulnerable, which makes it eventually possible for you to learn. Don't block yourself off from new experiences. And with that, I'm gonna keep this video short. My name is Jeraini Son, and I'll see you at the next video.